Hi everyone, so welcome to another academic video. I don't know about you, but I find there are never enough hours in the week to get all my academic jobs done. So in this video, I thought I'd share a few tips and strategies that I use to do some form of academic time management. Now, there's lots of videos out there about, timetabling and scheduling your hours and working productively at different points in the day. This video isn't going to be covering those topics, and I'm sure, there's plenty of good material out there to go and find. This video is really focusing on academic time management. So maybe you're a researcher at a university or a lecturer, or maybe you're, a teaching fellow. How do we manage our university duties and our academic time management within the university working week? And first up, I thought we could chat about priorities. And in particular, I've been doing this job now for, a few years as a lecturer. So if you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Caroline. I'm a UK-based physics lecturer. I've been a lecturer now for a number of years, and I've noticed that there are university priorities and then I have personal priorities. And quite often the university has me wanting to prioritise teaching, so delivering classes or preparing material or getting examinations ready or tutorial classes or admin duties, I'm the admissions tutor. So from a university's perspective, there are some priorities for the teaching and the admin that kind of pull at various points throughout the semester. But as a personal academic, so as a lecturer, personally, I also have the pull of academic research priorities. So I may want to prioritise getting in a research grant application or writing up a research paper or maybe reviewing the research output of one of our PhD students. So straight away when it comes to academic time management, I think it's useful to just consider a little bit the different priorities that you have within the week, and also their kind of nature, whether they are a university priority or not a personal priority exactly, but one that you want to fulfill and achieve. Now, the importance of these priorities will vary, right? So at times in the calendar year, examinations are going to take top priority, or teaching is going to take top priority. But at other times, I need to make sure that I am carving out enough time to allow me to fulfill my research obligations and also my research, kind of passion. And the reason I signed up to be an academic, because I want to both teach but also do research about a particular subject. So yeah, first up, when you're managing your time, don't exclude entirely those personal's the wrong word, but those kind of personal priorities that sit alongside those university priorities, because actually my research personal priorities are part of my job. It's a big chunk of my job to be an active researcher, and so that needs to have time within my calendar just as much as the teaching and the admin roles. I should caveat I'm not saying ignore your teaching or ignore your admin. I'm merely saying make sure that you recognise that you have time for all the things that are part of your job description and that matter within your job role. Okay, next thing. To help me with my academic time management, I also kind of have an email expectation management system, I guess. Now, different universities will have different requirements on how quickly you as a member of staff need to respond to a student inquiry. I do obviously look at all my emails. I check my inbox several times a day. If an urgent student inquiry comes in, and sometimes it does, sometimes a student does require urgent action. And of course, that goes to the top of the priority list and I will be actioning that item straight away that day. But if it's just a general inquiry or, some general feedback thereafter on a piece of written coursework or, an essay or something, then actually allowing those few days before responding means that I'm not constantly every day redoing all of my schedule so I can be more productive and actually complete the tasks that I plan to do that day, and then schedule for future time to do the email tasks that have come in. As academic members of staff, and indeed, as many people in many professions, we have to multitask, right? So you are potentially juggling a lot of different activities simultaneously. And they can be quite diverse. You might be, proofreading a CV for a student. You could be writing a new module for your lecture course that's starting in the next semester. You could be responding to peer review on a paper. You could be writing up your research grant application. You could be preparing for an experiment, ensuring that your PhD students are ready to pass, their Viva process. And all of these things can be happening at the same time. Now, I know some of my colleagues are amazing at doing, multiple things all simultaneously. I find that for some tasks, I can't juggle anything else whilst I'm doing them. So I'm a physicist, and part of my role involves doing coding, so software coding and experiments. If I am working on a computer code, I find that I really need to get into that piece of coding. I can't pick it up and drop it down again. I need to kind of immerse myself in it, remind myself what I was trying to do, remind myself of why maybe it wasn't compiling, and actually give myself that space to focus on a single task. The same is true when I'm marking. So when I'm marking students' work, I need to focus on that single task. When I am preparing a lecture course, again, if I'm writing a lecture, I need to focus on that single task. So what I do is I do sometimes turn off my email inbox for a period of 2, 3, 4 hours whilst I focus on a specific task. Or I put my notifications onto silent so I'm not constantly being distracted. That way I can be more productive on the single task that I'm trying to complete. And then once that task is out the way, I can then go back and I can have a look at my inbox or, respond to colleagues and do the kind of like the multitasking again. But yeah, every now and then I need to have time in my diary, which is single task time. It's not all day, it's not every day. It's just points in the week that I try to pick out to say, actually, at this time, I'm going to focus exclusively on this topic for a couple of hours, and then I'll get back into, the chaotic world of juggling many parts of being an academic here. I'm also quite conscious that whilst I'm trying to manage my time, that I've got academic colleagues who are trying to manage their time as well. And so one of the things that I try not to do is to sit on something if I know a colleague needs it in order for them to progress their piece of work or an activity they're working on, So if a colleague has asked for something, and I can move it forward in my priority list, or I can action it quickly, or I can tell the colleague, yes, I'll definitely do it by this date, I try to give, an informed schedule of when I'm going to do that activity for my colleague so they can have it in order to progress their piece of work. Because, there's nothing more infuriating than when you can't progress one of your tasks because you're waiting on some information to come in and maybe you don't know when that information is going to arrive. Is it going to arrive? Has the person acknowledged that they're going to actually do that activity? So yeah, I think personal academic time management, but also factoring into that, allowing yourself to be productive and timely for others so they can do their academic time management, just makes for good relations really within a system or a business or wherever really. But yeah, that's one of the things I do try to do. Doesn't always work. Sometimes I may accidentally forget to do something, or maybe I can't turn something around as quick as a colleague would like it. But I do try where possible to facilitate what my colleagues need in order to keep their work streams moving forward. So yeah, it can be tough, I think, as an academic. There are lots of things pulling on your time, lots of important things for the university, important things for students, important things for your research colleagues. But yeah, they're just a few things that I try to do to help me with my academic time management. Some weeks are more successful than other weeks. Some weeks I'm awesome at time management, and other weeks maybe not so much. But let me know, how do you cope? Do you find yourself having to work crazy long hours? Do you really try not to? I really try to have a really good work-life balance. But again, that can be a future video about how hard it can be sometimes to get that balance right. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you manage your academic time. If you're new around here, please do think about hitting subscribe. It's a free channel on YouTube, a place for us to talk about all things academic and university. But in the meantime, stay safe, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next Monday for another academic video. Bye!